Alexandrine of Mecklenburg-Schwerin was Queen of Denmark from 1912 to 1947, as well as Queen of Iceland from 1918 to 1944 as the spouse of King Christian X. Alexandrine was born a Duchess of Mecklenburg-Schwerin on Christmas Eve of 1879, in the city of Schwerin, the capital of the vast Grand Duchy of Mecklenburg-Schwerin in northern Germany. She was the daughter Frederik Francis, hereditary Grand Duke of Mecklenburg-Schwerin, who was the eldest son of an heir to the reigning Grand Duke Frederik Francis II. Her mother was Grand Duchess Anastasia Mikhailovna of Russia, who was a granddaughter of Emperor Nicholas I of Russia. Alexandrine was her parents' first child, and was born 11 months after their wedding in St. Petersburg. She was born in the Neustadt Palace, New Town Palace, in Schwerin, which was her parents' residence in the city at the time. Duchess Alexandrine had two younger siblings. Her only brother was Duke Frederik Francis, who in 1897 succeeded their father as Grand Duke of Mecklenburg-Schwerin, and her only sister was Duchess Cecily, who in 1906 married the German Crown Prince Wilhelm of Prussia, eldest son of German Emperor William II. After their father's succession as Grand Duke upon the death of her grandfather on 15 April, 1883, Alexandrine grew up with her brother and sister at the castle in Schwerin, at the royal residences of Ludwigslust Palace and the Gelbensand Hunting Lodge, only a few kilometers from the Baltic Sea coast. Her father had a fragile health and suffered badly from dermatitis, asthma, and respiratory disorders from an early age. The wet, damp, and cold northern European climate of Mecklenburg was not good for his health, and as a result, Alexandrine spent a large amount of time with her family away from Mecklenburg, by the Lake Geneva, and in Palermo, Baden-Baden, and Cannes in the south of France, where the family owned a large estate, the Villa Wenden. It was also in Cannes during the winter visit of 1897 that Duchess Alexandrine met her future husband, Prince Christian of Denmark, the eldest son of Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Louise of Denmark. The two young royals were engaged in Schwerin on 24 March, 1897. In April 1897, shortly after the engagement was announced, her father the Grand Duke died suddenly at the age of just 46 years. His sudden death was somewhat shrouded in mystery as it was first reported that he had committed suicide by throwing himself off a bridge. However, according to the official report, he died in his garden when he fell over a low wall during a bout of shortness of breath. The wedding of Duchess Alexandrine and Prince Christian was celebrated on 26 April, 1898 in Cannes, when she was 18 years old. They had two children, Prince Frederik born in 1899, later King Frederik IX of Denmark. Prince Knud born in 1900, later Knud, hereditary Prince of Denmark. Upon their arrival in Denmark, the couple were given Christian VIII Palace at the Amalienborg Palace complex in central Copenhagen as their principal residence and Sorgenfri Palace in Kongens Elvengby north of Copenhagen as a summer residence. Furthermore, the couple received Marsleisborg Palace in Aarhus in Jutland as a wedding present from the people of Denmark in 1902, the garden of which was to become one of her greatest interests. In 1914, the King and Queen also built the Villa Klitgarden in Skagen in northern Jutland. On 29 January, 1906, her husband's grandfather King Christian IX died, and Christian's father ascended the throne as King Frederik VIII. Christian himself became Crown Prince, and Alexandrine became Crown Princess. On 14 May, 1912, King Frederik VIII died suddenly in Hamburg, Germany, while returning from a recuperation stay in Nice in southern France. Alexandrine's husband acceded to the throne as Christian X, and Alexandrine became Queen Consort of Denmark. She is not considered to have played any political role, but is described as being a loyal support to her spouse. She was interested in music, and acted as the protector of the musical societies. She was known for her needlework, which she sold for charitable purposes. After the death of her mother-in-law Louise of Sweden in 1926, she succeeded her as the official protector of the various charity organizations founded by Louise. She enjoyed golf and photography. During World War I, she founded the Queen's Central Committee of 1914 to the support of poor families. The revolution in Russia brought much heartbreak for Alexandrine as three of her uncles, Nicholas, George and Sergei, were killed by the Bolsheviks. She survived the 1918 flu pandemic. The couple was given great popularity as national symbols during the World War II occupation, which was demonstrated during a tour through the country in 1946. Before the occupation, she and her daughter-in-law were engaged in mobilizing the Danish women. Her rejection of Major General Kurt Himmer, Chief of Staff to General Korpisch on 9 April, 1940 became a symbol for her loyalty toward Denmark before her birth country Germany. When General Himmer asked for an audience with the monarch, Christian was persuaded to receive him by his daughter-in-law as he would any other, which was supported by Alexandrine. He asked to do so alone, but Alexandrine told him she would interrupt them. When the general was about to leave, she came in, and when he greeted her, she said, "General, this is not the circumstance in which I expected to greet a countryman." Although Alexandrine was seen as shy and disliked official ceremonies, she had a sharp intelligence, and she was, together with her daughter-in-law, Ingrid of Sweden, a true support of the monarch and a driving force for the resistance toward the occupation within the royal house. In contrast to the monarch himself and the crown prince, the queen and the crown princess never lost their calm when the nation was attacked. As she was not the head of the royal house, she could show herself in public more than her spouse, who did not wish to show support to the occupation by being seen in public, and she used this to engage in various organizations for social relief to ease the difficulties caused by the occupation. 1947, she was widowed. She became the first Queen Dowager of Denmark to opt not to use that title. In her later years, Alexandrine stayed longer and longer at Marselisborg Castle in Jutland. She remained very active until the end of her life, continuing her work as a patron and her charitable work. She was also an avid golfer and photographer, and produced excellent needlework. Queen Alexandrine died on 28 December, 1952 in her sleep, 4 days after her birthday after a long illness. She had an intestinal operation a week and a half before her death. She was buried at the traditional burial place of the royal family in Roskilde Cathedral.